Good morning. Good morning, fellow hibernators. Just want to take you through this gentle 45, maybe 45-minute class this morning. We're not even going to come to a standing position today. We're just going to keep it chilled and starting lying in Shavasana on the floor. So welcome. My name is Paige. Just make sure you've discussed with your doctor that you're cleared to exercise, and lying down on your back is a very lovely pose. It's called Shavasana. So let's do that. So start spreading your heels out wider than your shoulders. And same with your arms. Shine your palms upwards towards the sky and find a nice spot for the back of your head to rest. If this hurts your back, you can always bend your knees and see if that helps a little bit. You can knock them together and pigeon toe your feet. And then if you like, in either position, just lift up your hips and tuck your tailbone under, lengthen out your lower back, and see if that helps to kind of lengthen the low back. So whatever feels good, either full Shavasana or with bent knees. Eyes and lips are together. And just take a moment to arrive. Arrive in this moment. Arrive on your mat or on the floor or whatever it is beneath you, supporting you. Physically soften your face. And just let the muscles begin to slip away from their bone. Just feel the skin get heavy, relaxed. Circle your attention to your breath. Not trying to control it just yet, just witness. Let it be natural. And just do another scan of your body. Ensure that there's no little spots that haven't quite let go. So release any gripping, any holding. Maybe it's the jaw. Make sure there's some space in between the teeth. Relax the base of the skull. Let the heart soften. Just surrender to the earth. And then we'll begin to purposely and intentionally deepen our breath. So invite the air much deeper so breathing more with the belly than your chest. So invite the air to the base of the pelvis, let the belly rise. And as you exhale, just let the belly fall. Let's just do a few rounds of what's called yogic breath. It's a longer, a deeper, and an even breath, so where the inhales match the exhales. And the breath should be full of sukha. Sukha is a fancy word for ease. It should be easy, free of stress, free of strain. Now we're going to coordinate movement to this long, deep, and easy breath. So if it's easier to bend your knees, that's great. If your legs long like me, you're going to bring your legs together. So whether your knees are bent or straight, squeeze your inner lines of your legs. So your inner ankles above the knee and below the pubic bone. And if your knees are bent, you can kind of press them down into the floor. If your legs are straight, you can press the four corners of your feet into an imaginary floor. Very strong legs here. Just kind of pull the abdominals into the back. So imagine your legs are strong and stable, like the trunk of a tree. We're going to add movement. So as you exhale, push your left leg into the floor and hug gently your right knee towards your chest. As you inhale, you're going to lower that leg to the floor. So you can do this with the legs bent as well. It's a little easier on the back, so whatever is going to work for you today. But the idea is to coordinate your breath with your movement. Very gentle here. The idea, it's like a pacifying, comforting movement. Just warming up. I'm going to keep my legs straight today. So one leg at a time returns to the floor before the other one hugs in. Exhaling to pull the leg in and inhaling to return the leg. So the next time you've got one of your legs, hang on to it. Really energize the other leg, your long leg. Inhale to prepare. And as you exhale, you're going to nod your chin towards your chest. Pick up your head. Pick up your elbows to the sides of the room. And just lift your chest up off the floor. So you're kind of winging your elbows out to the side, lengthening all sides of your neck. Using your abdominals to lift your head, neck, and chest. And energizing your legs, like you're standing up, especially that long leg. If you want, pull your belly in and you can lift the leg that's left on the floor. Just hold and breathe, creating some heat. If you want to lift a little higher, press those ribs into the floor to lift the chest. Nice. On your next exhale, lower the heel, lower the upper body, and then lower the leg. Take a moment to rest. Not so much to rest, but just to notice any sensations in the body. And then we'll switch sides. So squeeze the legs together, the inner lines of the legs. Hug the other knee in towards your chest. Remember to lift your elbows up. That'll allow you to engage your back muscles as you pull your leg in towards your chest. You can stay here, or you can inhale. Tuck the chin, pick the head up, and lift the chest. So if you lift high enough, you might be able to feel a nice opening, a stretch down your long leg. Breathing into all those nooks and crannies. Wherever you feel you need the air to go, just take it there. Amazing. On your next exhale, maybe you want to pick up that long leg and hover it. Make sure it's energized. Nice. And lower the left, or lower the leg, and then lower the upper body, and bring the other leg down to the mat. Taking a rest yet again. We're going to come to our hands into our knees. So to get there, slide your heels in towards your tush, hug your knees into your chest. Now this time, you can stay here, or you can lift both, or lift your forehead towards the insides of your knees. It's called wind relieving pose. Go figure. Pull your thigh bones in towards your belly. Pull your shin bones in towards your thigh bones. So you start to ignite the muscles of your belly, low abs. Pull your shins in with your middle back. Nice. And then lower your upper body. Roll over to one side and come up into a kneeling position. So you got vertical arms, and we've got vertical thigh bones. All right. Nice long line of energy from the crown of your head to your tail. So creating or encouraging that space in the spine. This is your neutral spine, where you could balance a little piece of fruit or something, or a beverage on this low part of your back where the sacrum is. So just a natural curve in the lower back. As you exhale, start to push your hands down into the floor, even push the roofs of your feet into the floor, and dome the back. Spread the shoulder blades apart, pull the ribs up to the sky, and aim the tailbone down in between the backs of the knees. The pubic bone should pull up towards your belly button. So it's that engaging of the abdominals to really stretch out the lower back. Take a breath. And then inhale, we're going to flip the cat. So we're going to tilt the pelvis forward, gently widen the collarbones, sink the ribs and the belly. Nice. And then your only job is to float back and forth a few times, coordinating your breath with your movement. On your next inhale, come back to neutral. And now we're going to kind of do a side bend. So think of your side bend stretching side to side, or think of a dog when they're really happy and they're wagging their tail. We're going to do that, but in slow motion. So as you exhale, kind of look over one shoulder in behind to see if you own a tail, which you do, you have a tailbone. And kind of draw your ribs and your side hips together towards each other. Inhale, float through the center, and then exhale to the other side. I should mention, if your wrists bother you, you can always bring your hands forward a little bit to kind of get some weight out of there, or you can roll your mat up. Place the heels of your hand on the mat, and then that'll help decrease the compression in the wrists. Or you can also make fists. So your fists are palms that face each other, and I'm really curling my thumb in. So that kind of helps if your wrists start to bother you. Let's do a few more if you're not doing them already. Side to side. We're going to focus on the side body, I think, today. I'm feeling it. Nice. And then inhale, come back to center. So we're going to add a side bend. We're going to hold it. We're not going to make it fluid. So you're going to let's take our left leg back. Curl the toes, press your thigh bone to the sky so the kneecap lifts, and then pick up your left leg. Cross it over the right ankle. So you're taking it across the body, across the other side of the mat. And then inhale to prepare. As you exhale, look over your right shoulder to see if you can see that right or that left heel back there. So check in with your left heel, make sure it's right on top of the ball of the foot. All right, stack the heel over the ball of the foot. And try to open up your left side body. If you want a little bit more, shift the body weight to the right side, the right hand and the right knee, and pick up your left hand and, like a banana, reach up and over. So your whole left side, from your pinky finger all the way down to your outer pinky toe, your pinky toe. Take some deep breaths. This one's a good one. And then inhale, plant the hand, bring the knee back home. If your wrists have had enough, maybe sit back in a child's pose. Or if you like, what I'm feeling is a downward dog. So I gotta take my socks off for that so I don't slip. You wanna invest in a mat that's gonna have lots of stickiness so that you can really utilize the traction to really get into a pose like downward dog. So whether you're in child's pose, you can think of planting your hands and pushing the heels and the knuckles of the hands down into the floor, but also it's like you're trying to slide the mat forward. So it really helps you get that traction to shift your hips back. It feels good, yeah. So I'm in child's. If you want to, same thing with the hands, curl your toes, Push the palms down and forward to help shift the hips back and up. Now my heels always go to the floor. I'm quite mobile in my ankles, but make sure your calves aren't gripping to release the backs of the heels, to stretch the calves. A lot of us have really tight calves, but the idea is if I'm holding them up, I'm using my calves. So you want to just let them go. Wherever they end up is perfect. And think of pushing those hands down and forward into the mat like you're trying to slide your mat forward to bring your chest towards your thigh bones. Yeah? Down dog. Let your head dangle to get the traction in the neck. And then we'll do the other side. So inhale, float to a little plank. Walk your knees underneath your hips. And find that neutral again. So long spine. As you exhale, curl your, we did that side. So curl your right toes under and press its thigh bone to the sky. Brace your belly by pull your tummy muscles in towards the sky. Lift your right leg up and cross the ankle or cross the foot over to the outside of the left ankle. Then shift the body weight to the left a little bit and look over your left shoulder. Check in with your heel, make sure it's stacked over the ball of the foot. You can stay here and breathe into your right side body, or you can shift a little more into the left hand and left knee. Lift your right arm in banana, like a big banana shape. Reach that right hand up and over the head. Nice. This one's not easy, but it's such a nice opener for the side body. And then come back home when you've had enough. So either rest in child's. And again, a good option for child's pose, maybe you don't have the ability to bend knees this much. You can always go into more of a puppy pose, which is quite nice, where the knees are more over the hips. Or you can put something, if you're going to be here for a long time, put something in between your thighs and your shins, just so that you can rest and not feel like you're holding. Amazing. So let's inhale, float to tabletop. And I'm just going to turn forward for this next section. You don't necessarily have to. You can just take your leg out to the side if you have room. So I'm in table. I'm just going to take my right leg out to the, let's all do a mirror image of you, I think. So left leg comes out and you're gonna push yourself up. And just take your hands to your hips. Check in that your right heel, or that your left heel is not behind your hip. You want it just ahead so that you can see your leg in your peripheral vision if you're looking forward, yeah? So just think of grounding the outer side of your left foot. And inhale, lengthen or lift the ribs up away from your hips. Take a deep breath in, reach the arms, and exhale, lift the shoulder blades up towards the sky, like you're trying to lift them up towards your ears, creating space, yeah? Inhale, and then exhale, you're gonna slide your hand down your long leg. Nice. Turn your bottom ribs to the heavens. So it's a side bend, not a twist. The shoulders are stacked. Good. Go back to your left inner arch of your foot and pull it up towards your inner knee and pull it up towards your inner groin. Don't forget to breathe. Nice. Inhale, come arms in a T position. And if it's possible, take your fingers or your hand flat and then reach up and over to the other side. So my left outer ankle is grounded, anchored. My shoulders are stacked. I'm rotating my heart towards the heavens and hopefully getting a big stretch down the top side of my body. Good. Inhale, take that left arm up. Push off the floor and then find your way back into tabletop. Yeah. To the other side. Take a deep breath in and then exhale, take your right leg out, push yourself up. Try to pick up your side ribs. I almost do a little self-adjustment, take my thumbs under my armpits, lift them up, and then keep my ribs lifted, but relax my shoulder blades. We're always searching for space in yoga, yeah? And then inhale as we lifted both our arms up. Inhale, lift up, lengthen the shoulders up to help lengthen the spine, and then side bend. Nice. Rolling, turning the heart space to the sky. You can push down through that left knee. Good. And then draw that knee into the center of your mat to light up the inner line of your leg. Not only are you pushing your left knee down into the floor, but you're sliding it to the center of the mat. This is very active, gentle, but active. On your next inhale, T position. And as you exhale, either fingertips, palm, or you can go back to that fist and reach your arm up and over. So notice my upper arm bone is kind of hanging out with my earlobe, or my ear, and my hips are stacked. Push the bottom knee into the floor. And spiral this heart upwards. This is a great way to build your triangle posture. Or all these side bends. Nice. On our next inhale, reach up, push the floor away to help you back to center, and then come back onto your knees. Amazing. Let's hang out in that child's pose yet again. So lovely. Maybe your forehead finds the floor. If not, you can always place your palms on top of each other and rest there, or you can make fists that stack so that it's almost like a yoga block where you can rest your forehead and feel like you can let go to some degree. Relax. Nice. And then stretch your arms long. Bring your shoulders forward and then curl your toes again, pressing back into downward facing dog. So again, letting the heels sink, using the traction of the mat or the hand of the floor to push the mat down and forward, drawing your chest towards your thighs. Wherever you're at is perfect, just breathe. Moving into some hips. So as you inhale, float to plank. And as you exhale, drop your knees to the floor and bring your right foot in between your hands. The hips sink and the heart lifts. So I'm kind of drawing my arm bones back to help open my chest. And I'm gently pulling my heart space forward and up to open my heart even more. You can have the front knee stacked, or you can have it slightly forward because we're not loading the front knee too much. But again, you want to feel this in your back hip and not so much your knee. You never want to feel it in your knee. Now to continue with our little side bend thing, we're going to take the palms to the thighs and create a little bit of space in between your thigh and your ribs. Stay here, relax those shoulders, and then take the opposite arm to your front leg up to the sky and reach up and over. Can't remember if I cued right or left, but I've got my right leg forward. Your left arm should be up. And then again, shoulders stacked, roll or turn your heart upwards towards the sky. Elbow can be bent. Sink a little more in the hips if you want to explore a little deeper, if that feels good. And then inhale, reach up. Exhale, take your hands down and slide that right foot back. Curl your toes and find downward dog one more time. If downward dog doesn't feel like a rest, eventually, once the body and the shoulders and the back line of the legs open up, it can feel like a rest. You can stay here for a long period of time. But practice, 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 right? like anything. Relax your head. Just take 2 more breaths here. Every inhale, a lengthening of the spine. And every exhale, just a settling, a softening. Awesome. On our next inhale, float to plank. Walk your knees underneath your hips and take your left foot forward. So I did cue the left and right. Left foot in between the hands. Sink the hips as you lift the chest. Pull your arm bones back to connect with your back. And then take your palms to your thighs. So a little bit of space between you and your front ribs. And then inhale, reach that right arm up and over. Revolve your bottom ribs to the sky and breathe. So I'm pushing my left heel into the floor, but I'm also sinking my hips. So it's very active stretching yoga or hatha yoga. And hatha literally means active. It has many meanings, but it's where we're purposely using the muscles to move the bones. It's an active style of yoga. Inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, let's come back to downward dog. We're going to open the hips in a different way. Your option is to lie on your back. I'm just going to show the option because pigeon pose, which is the next posture, is quite an intense posture. And if you're new or you're coming back from exercise, the last thing you want to do is injure your knees or even your ankle because it's going to be a lot demanding. So what I'm going to do is lie back, cross my right ankle on top of my left thigh. Why not everybody do this just so that we can even warm up the hip a little bit more when we do pigeon. So if you're newer, if you have injuries or knee concerns, stick with this one. This is still just as good. It's just that we're not, it's a lot safer. So anchor the back of the pelvis. And I'm grabbing the back of my thigh. You might not be able to do that. That's fine. You can always press your right thigh away and keep the back of your pelvis anchored so that you can stretch the hip, or you can grab that thigh, yeah? So my left knee is pulling in, but my right ankle is pushing into my left thigh. So this is active. I'm pushing my right ankle or my right shin bone into my left thigh. All right, so they're equally resisting each other. Anchor the back of the pelvis as you pull your knees in towards your chest. You should feel the hips stretch deep in the right side. You might feel it a little in the left depending on where you're tight and so forth, but just breathe into those spaces, those parts of you that need it the most. Soften the face, relax the jaw. Keep the gentle pressure in between your left thigh and your right shin. Right, remember it's active, gentle but active. And then slowly release your left foot down. Uncross the leg, take a breath or two, check in. And then inhale, lift your left foot up, cross the ankle on top of the right thigh. Again, you can just press your thigh away. If you're already feeling the first point of tension here, stick with that and just breathe. Otherwise, pull your belly in and grab the back of your thigh. Some of us who are very mobile can grab the front of the shin, but not at the expense of our spine. So I want you to think of the spine coming first. Anchor the back of the pelvis and try to keep both hips side by side. So an equal distance in between your side ribs and your side hips. It's like a square. Pressure or equal pressure, right thigh to left shin as you pull your right thigh in and open your chest. See, this is the side where my knee is a little finicky and I don't like pigeon on this side because I feel it in my knee. So you always want to keep the sensations in the hip. And in all honesty, I think we'll just stick with that today. We don't need to do pigeon. We're gonna continue lying on our backs. We've got about another 5 minutes of posture, and then we'll do a 10-minute relaxation at the end with some music. So unravel or uncross the legs. Grab the backs of your thighs. If you don't want to rock up, you can roll over onto your side and come up to a seat. Otherwise, you're going to rock, and I'm going to swing the legs up to a seated position. Extend your legs long in front of you and kind of sit up as tall as you can. If you really feel like, oh my gosh, I'm being pulled back, then what you can do is if you've got a mat, you can roll it up a bunch of times and create a little bolster, right? A little bolster for your sit bones to live on. So all that does is it elevates your hips higher than your knees to allow your pelvis to have some space to sit up properly, right? Some of us need more. Some of us might need a bigger block. So if you have a book or whatever it takes to kind of feel like you're high enough that you can relax a little bit, then that's great. If you don't have anything today, don't worry about it. Just think about it for next time. So I'm going to start with one leg at a time. That helps if we're really tight in the hamstrings. So I'm going to slide the sole of my right foot into the inside of my left thigh. I'm going to turn to face my leg. All right, and then I'm going to inhale, pick up my ribs, my shoulder blades like we've been doing. Get all the space I can, reaching the fingers, anchoring the sit bones, and then keep lengthening, keep lifting, reaching forward and eventually down, and allowing your wrists to relax on this, allowing your elbows to go, and just soften through the shoulders. You can hold your head up, or you can let it go if it feels good. I'm just going to hold it up today. Definitely feeling this in the back of my left leg. And for me, I'm quite tight in my low back, so I can feel it in my side and I can feel it in my back. Wherever you feel it, it's perfect. You just got to breathe. To counter this forward fold, you're going to inhale to come up. Take your kind of windmill your right hand up and right hand plants down onto the floor by your right hip. Point your left toe, just for fun. And then inhale, lift your hips, push your hand into the floor, kind of pressing the hips forward, opening them up. You can stay here, you can look up. You can reach the arm over, these are all options. Or you can start to twist a little bit, turn your ribs towards the floor and look down at the hand below. Have our first twist today. Inhale, reaching up to come out. Exhale to sit back down. Let's lean back into the hands, straighten out both legs, and shake them up. Feels good. Inhale, sitting up tall again, just to find some neutral. All right, again, if you need to get a little more cushion under the tush, nothing wrong with that. Slide your left foot to the inside of your right thigh. Turn towards your long leg. And again, length. It's all about creating space. That's what yoga is all about. Inhale, elevate the shoulders and ribs, reach up to the sky, and then exhale. Come on forward, finding that first point of tension and kind of pausing there. Just breathe from here. So if you're very tight in the hamstrings, doing one leg at a time is very, very helpful before you do both. We're going to counter this pose with a back bend. You're going to inhale, come up. Left hand windmills, big rainbow painting across the sky. Plant your left hand down, lean into that hand, and lift the hips up. Option one, to look up. Option 2 to look down and raise the arm over the head. All right, think of revolving the ribs if you want to, or you can just think of opening the front hips by pressing them up. Nice. Inhale, look up, reach up, and then exhale, sink the hips. Lengthen out both legs and shake them out. You guys are amazing. I hope you're feeling good. So now we'll try both. Paschimottanasana. 2 more postures. Inhale, push the floor away. Lengthen. So it's all about the space, remember. Keep lengthening as you reach up and over. Wherever your wrists or your fingertips end up is perfect. Flex your ankles so your toes shine to the heavens. And think of all 4 corners of your feet pressing into an imaginary floor. So your legs are active, but your spine gets to soften. So this is a little more passive in the spine, but active in the legs. Think of your pelvis, the back of your pelvis anchoring down towards the earth. All right, so the pelvis is anchored so that your spine can kind of drape out of it. If you want, you can reach your fingers or your hands towards the outsides of your feet. Or some of us can hook our 2 peace fingers to the inside of the big toe. Wherever you're at, it is perfect. Nowhere to go, nothing to prove. Nice. And then inhale, lift the heart up. Slide your hands back. Now I'm going to do a reverse tabletop with bent knees to start. To open up the chest, pull your arm bones back, pull your heart space forward, kind of lift up the chest a little bit. Dig your heels into the floor, and on an inhale, lift up your hips. Think of your tailbone for a second and aim it in between the backs of your knees. So you're lengthening out that lower back. Pubic bone pulls in towards your belly button, or should I say up towards your belly button, to lengthen out that low back. Nice opener for the chest as well. I'm looking forward to kind of protect my neck. So I'm aiming the crown of my head towards the sky. Take a rest if you need to. Anchor the heels, the big toe ball, and the pinky toe ball. Nice. And then exhale, slowly lower the hips. And take the soles of your feet together. So comfortably draw your heels in towards your groin, wherever works. Again, you don't have to jam them in there, right? Just first point of tension. And again, try to tilt your pelvis forward to the point where your sit bones aims to the floor. Easier said than done. And we're just going to sit up. I've got my hands on the outer ankles, and I want you to think of gently pressing your knees downwards as you pull your ankles upwards. You pull your ankles upwards to help pull the heart space forward and open up your chest. So my arm bones are pulling back and my crown is lifted. This is called cobbler pose. Amazing. And then exhale, release. Lengthen out your legs. And make sure we're going to come down to the mat, so make sure you've got a nice spot to land behind you. I'm going to get some zombie arms in front of me, kind of roll off the backs of the sit bones, pull the belly in, pull the ribs back, press your thigh bones down towards the floor, and press your feet towards the wall in front of you. Keep reaching with your hands and roll back down all the way. Ooh, I got a nice free crack there. That's nice. Hopefully you did too. So again, my back's a little finicky today, so if lying down like this doesn't work, you can always bend your knees. We've got one more twist to do before we finish. So let's squeeze the legs together. Take a deep breath in, and then either keep your feet on the floor or lift your knees up over your hips, whatever you like. Inhale to prepare, and then gently exhale, letting your knees fall to the right. Either way is fine. We're just going to do both sides. Turning your heart space to the heavens, grounding both shoulders, If your left shoulder's coming off the mat, you can bend your left elbow and grab onto your left rib and kind of anchor that right shoulder. On your next inhale, gently come back to center. Stretch the arms out. Make sure that your wrists aren't above your shoulder level. They're a little bit below, if anything, okay, or level with. Inhale for nothing, and then exhale, knees left. Revolve your heart to the sky. And you can even, if you need to, use your left arm to push into the mat to keep your right shoulder kissing the floor. Ooh, I like that on that side. Stay there a little longer. Inhale when you're ready to come back home. Place your feet onto the floor. Relax. So soften. And you can stay in this position by knocking your knees or pigeon-toeing your feet, or you can extend your legs long. For Shavasana, I'm going to turn my palms up in a receptive position or a position of surrender. So this idea of yoga is all about letting go of control. So appropriate for these times where for many of us it just feels like the world is out of control. But yoga, we get to practice on the mat how to just let go through our body. So within the framework of our own body, hopefully we can take some of those principles into the world. Just give yourself permission to let go of your physical body. And just relax. It's your only job. Soften the muscles around your eyes. Relax your jaw. And even let go of the world behind your face. So the world we don't see, behind the personality. Release the eye sockets, the sinuses, the back of your throat, in between the temples, the base of your skull. And then allow that relaxation to spread down your neck and across your shoulders, down your arms to your fingertips. Let your heart space be welcomed by the back body. The front ribs soften, the back ribs broaden. Relax the muscles around your spine, your shoulder blades, the back of your pelvis. Front hip creases, release. Release any gripping in the glutes. Thigh bones melt away from their bone. Knees, shins, ankles, feet, and toes. Relax. And just allowing whatever comes up for you, let it rise up and let it pass away. So no need to judge it, just focus on witnessing it. It's a hard skill, but it's one definitely worth practicing. This ability to witness our thoughts, witness our sensations, simply watch them rise up and pass away. When you're ready, start to micro move your fingers and your toes. Take some deep, deep breaths in. Let it out through the mouth. Eventually slide your heels in towards your butt and hug them in towards your chest, your legs. Let's roll over to the side and come on up to a seat. Just take a moment in quiet, in still. You might want to, I just got right up there, but you might have wanted to hang out in child's pose or fetal position on your side for a little bit. Kind of felt the blood pressure change there. So if you're doing your own practice, it's nice to move from resting pose to fetal position and then sit up, but I'm okay. Sit bones down, crown up, relax the shoulders. Palms resting anywhere on the lap, and just take a few more moments here in the stillness, in the quiet, and in the strength of your own body. Just take a moment to thank yourself for what you've done for yourself today. And perhaps give a moment to be thankful for anything else. Gratitude lives in the heart. To finish the practice today, let's take a deep breath in. We're going to reach up, look up, keep the palms together, and just let your thumbs float right down in your heart center. You can press your thumbs into your heart, your palms into each other, and kind of wing those elbows up if you feel good. Take a moment, connect with your heart. Then the mind bows to the heart, and the heart bows to the body. And with that, I'll say, Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Sorry, I gotta run, but you can take that practice anywhere you want, anytime you want. I'm gonna leave it online, okay? So again, my name is Paige, and I hope you're having a great day. Looks like hopefully it'll get sunny later, but enjoy it anyway. All right, God bless.